Welcome back, Crime Besties, for another episode of Two Crime Besties with Emma and Meg.
Hello, people. How we doing?
I think we've had a lot of new followers this week, Meg.
Oh, really?
Following us on Spotify. So we did a shout out last week to say please follow if you are, and we actually have had a lot of new followers this week.
I hadn't actually seen that, so that's really cool.
Thank you to everybody who's followed us.
Yeah,
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Yeah.
And hopefully that means you're coming back to us again the following week pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because, I mean, I have so many that I follow, like podcasts, and I love that when like I finish one, like whatever I'm listening to, like whether it be something for, doing this podcast or whether it be something for enjoyment, general enjoyment, I mean, because it's always enjoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like my run-of-the-mill ones I always listen to just come on next, and it's like, it's so good.
I love it.
It's
It's the
like,
best.
oh, yeah, you get to listen to this one.
There's a new episode of our favourite thing out.
Yay.
Yay, love it. How has your week been? What have you been up to?
I think the best part of this week is the end of it. And
Yeah.
yay, because it's end of term.
Yay.
And because I finished yesterday for the term, and it was like, thank God.
Did you skip out of there?
Could not get out of there fast enough.
Yeah.
I literally said to the team as I'm leaving, going, obviously Friday, if they need me, they can always contact me. And I'm always like, I was leaving going, if you need anything, let me know, call me. As I always do, and let them know that. And I said, but maybe don't.
Also, maybe it can wait. If it can wait
Keep it
until
to
next term,
yourselves.
please allow it to wait until next term.
Sure, unless the place is burning down, you don't need me.
Yes.
Oh, gosh, always here. But,
Yeah.
please don't.
But I've also had enough for the term now. I need a break.
Really need the break. Yeah. Yeah.
The kids had colour run yesterday and they had a really, really fun time. It was so cute watching them. I love it. And then this morning they had their footy parade, which it is actually one of my favourite things to watch.
Those 2 days, to have them in a row, holy crap.
Huge.
Like, kids, wow, how lucky are you? Because I loved it yesterday. I actually got to school in time to just sort of to get the tail end of the run and then their celebration at the end of it, which is always lots of fun. And I walked into the school gate, and within seconds of walking in, there was this bunch of like kids' friends. Brody's mom, like, hi guys. And they were like, hug. I'm like, oh no.
I was actually wearing a suit yesterday.
You idiot.
Well, I didn't think it through, did I? And
You're normally well onto that.
I know.
You're usually covered in colour.
Well, I couldn't help out because of the change, and it just didn't work out. But anyway,
that's always a issue.
It is a thing. So I couldn't help out anymore. But and I'd obviously come straight from work, and I'm like, oh God. So my suit was covered. Even just the dust, the colour dust in the air. It's so fine.
I was sucking it back.
Yeah. Did you have pink snot this morning?
Oh, pretty
Probably.
much. Oh God. Yeah. Well, Mason still had pink hair this morning. Like, he's such a great little sweater, and so I reckon he's got pink all on his forehead. He's like got this pink forehead thing, and I'm like, Gorbachev-ish.
Yeah.
He didn't get it, but anyway. This pink all on his forehead that will not come off. Literally, he scrubbed at it in the shower. He's like, as I said to him, this is my boys, we always have a thing. Sorry, but good men look after their skin.
Yep.
Okay. And so there's cleanser, and he said, Mum, I used the cleanser 3 times. I'm like, good
Might
work.
need exfoliant for that.
Great job. Yeah. But then so then when he got out of the shower and it was still there, I got a baby wipe. I'm like, that gets rid of everything.
Yeah.
Baby wipe, nah. Even to the point of there was no pink even on the baby wipe. Like I would have thought you'd get
coming off.
nothing was. I said to him, look, the only good thing about that tells me that it's not going to come off onto your pillow tonight.
Yeah.
But like,
Did you see that boy sitting in front of us and his head was stained? And I'm like, oh yeah, it must have been the pink colour. It was a few kids I noticed had pink, or even the blondies had some pink stained hair.
Yeah, well,
he's
got dark hair like me.
Yeah.
He's he had some pink in the front of his.
Oh, that's
in
so
it. And I'm
funny.
like, yeah, it was quite dyed. Like,
okay.
I'm like, that's fun.
That's fun.
Whatever. Who cares?
Oh, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
No.
It's not going to hurt him.
He thought it was great.
Oh, it was so much fun.
But God, it's always that when they get home from it, strip off at the door. Do not go into my house.
Do not go into the house with that fine powder.
Straight to the bathroom. Get in the shower.
Yes. I had one who was way messier than the other, so at least we had a good order for the good reason to order the showers the way we did.
Let me pick which one.
Yeah. Might have been the one wearing the wig today.
Oh God, he looked great.
Oh, it's funny. It's really, really good. Actually, so last weekend, Peter he's doing oh my God, this is like such a middle-aged man sort of, they go through their hobbies. They're either into lawns, full driving,
Yeah.
sport like
Fishing.
or fishing or golf is another big
golf,
middle-aged.
definitely.
Cycling.
Yes.
So Peter's loves cycling, but at the minute his latest obsession is fall driving.
Yeah.
And so we're doing a couple of big fall driving trips over the next 12 months.
Yeah.
And so I said to one part of it is one of the ones we're doing is the Simpson Desert, right?
Yeah.
So crossing the sand dunes in the middle of nothing, Australia, like literally you don't see another thing for 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
God help me.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
You can still do online shopping.
Well, we
Probably
are
not actually.
No, well, we are getting a
Satellite?
Starlink.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going that
No.
far without being able to contact emergency services should it be required.
So it's like more likely the online shopping, but anyway.
Well, yeah. Well, I've got to come home to some kind of packages.
I need some joy in my life.
Yeah, that's right. So we are getting a Starlink for that purpose. Safety.
Yeah.
But one of the things is I'm like, we've never driven on sand dunes before. So Peter has decided to do this fall driving course. And you have
Definitely.
to do the basic one before you can do the sand dune course.
Yes.
So on the weekend, he took Oliver and they did the first day of this course.
Yep.
Anyway, on the way home, they decided to stop off at this fall driving show at an auto barn. I think a lot of barns had it on the weekend, whatever.
Yeah.
For a 4x4 driving show. And Oliver won a $500 speaker. So it's this Bluetooth, like you can throw the speaker in the pool,
Love
completely waterproof. It's got an LED light show, like disco that comes out of it. Now, out of my children, is he the one who needed the loud? No. Does he love it the most? Absolutely.
definitely.
It has pride of place in his bedroom. And even on the lowest setting, it makes the windows vibrate.
He's probably going, it's not on, Mum. What are you talking about? It's not even on.
So he was absolutely stoked with that. I mean, it's a cool prize.
That is awesome. And just the fact that he won it. I mean, winning anything, let alone something that's actually usable and cool.
And worth like $500.
Yeah.
So he was delighted, to say the least.
Yeah.
So he had a great day on Sunday then, pumping up the tunes
Love
and,
that.
and getting all that sorted. So
Lucky you.
Oh, lucky me. Yeah. And he opened it up, as soon as he got home on Saturday night. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
This is our future. Yeah.
It'll be usable on the trips though too, so.
Well, that's what he seems to tell me. So in the middle of the Simpson Desert, we'll probably...
No one else will hear it, just you.
Well, no one else will hear it, but the poor animals that are trying to get some sleep / me trying to get some... Anyway.
Yeah, more you.
Yep. So that was the highlight of his week, that's for sure.
Yes. Oh, God, that's so gorgeous.
I do have some shout-outs for today. So our first... I'll do the Buy Me a Coffee shout-outs first.
Yeah,
so we had
sure.
Amy S. and Kelly Mitchell both buy us coffees this week. So thank you so much, ladies. It's so appreciated.
Absolutely.
Then I've got a double shout-out here for a patron only known by the name of Tanya.
Yep.
She has not only has she bought us a significant number of coffees at Buy Me a Coffee, she has also joined our Patreon. So Tanya, thank you so much. Her comment was, "Look, I'm just going to blow our own horn, toot our own horn for a moment."
To be shouted from the rooftops.
She's like, "Best podcast on Spotify."
Can we get the money that they're getting too, please, Tanya?
I'm like, oh my God, that is so nice.
Such
Thank
a good
you.
compliment. No, I love that.
I mean, we'll take it.
Yeah.
We really appreciate the fact that somebody thinks that.
Yep, absolute legend. 'Cause
Yeah.
we do struggle to think that we're that good, but we do appreciate all the compliments. We're getting so many lately
Yeah,
of really
so
like,
nice.
within, messages either being like, I've got this suggestion or, we love, this part about the podcast, whatever, but lots of like, just really enjoying the podcast and for so many different aspects, which, could it be, some of it's just the banter and other people like get rid of the banter. We just want the case.
Yeah.
So from both ends, we're getting that. And so we love it. It's just great that people are really connecting with everything that we're doing. So
yeah. And I think, a lot of the people who like the banter are generally the people who've got like kids similar ages and all of that sort of stuff and can totally relate to what we're talking about.
So we just don't shut up. So we apologise.
Yeah. And I know a lot of our weeks are monotonous, but that is motherhood. That is life.
It is.
With young children.
Yeah. That's so true.
Yep.
But yeah. Should we just say too, like obviously with the Patreon, like it's growing, which is fabulous. And we're going to like start ramping up with that a little bit more. And we've got episodes coming out. Or we've dropped obviously our first one in there, and we've got some more coming up. So we're planning in our weeks ahead that we are actually going to be missing an episode on our regular feed. But if you don't want to miss an episode, come and join us at Patreon, because we will be dropping extra ones in there in replacement of the free feed. So just the 1 week you'll miss on the free, but obviously we can come over to Patreon and you'll get your fix over there if you want to come and join us there. So come and join for $5 a month on the bestie tier. So come and join us and join the chat. The chat's going bit nuts in there. Actually, we need to get back in there properly.
I know. I actually haven't had time this week to properly get in there. But yeah, you can join us over at patreon.com/2crimebesties.
Fantastic.
We really appreciate people joining us over there. So in a couple of weeks we will be just taking a 1 week break. We just need the scheduling of everything, the madness of life.
Yeah.
There was no other way around it. So we do apologize for that. But these things happen, and we did take a break last year in the middle of the year as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's
we kind of, it's hard to produce a podcast every single week when we've got so many other things going on.
When this is this is it's our hobby, kind of thing, trying to fit it into a week with lots of things that go on with family and everything else. So that's it.
That's all right.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, yeah.
I mean, 1 week's off's not too bad, I think.
Yeah,
we've done well.
We've done well to make it that, because it could have been more. All right, and then my last shout out for today, because he'd be very upset if I didn't. Shout out to producer Pete for setting up the podcast studio this morning.
Yeah.
I said to Meg, because we're slightly tight on time today, only because our kids finish school early because it's the last day of term. And I'd said to Meg, I'll try really hard to get the studio set up so we can just come back from school drop off and record.
Yeah.
But I didn't quite get there. It was just, mornings.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah.
So as I was walking out the door, I'm like, what time's your first meeting, Peter? And he's like, I've got like 15 minutes. I'm like, right, get in there, do your best and get as much of it done as you can. So thank you, Peter.
He did well. Everything was where we normally have it.
Yeah, he did really well.
The boom's in a good spot.
Yep. Thanks,
Pete. Go, Pete.
Appreciate it. Okay, what are we talking about today? Who are we discussing today?
Oh, today I'm really happy to do this one. I've been wanting to chat with this one about
Me too.
with you for quite some time.
I feel like we actually have not even discussed this case in our personal lives. Back when this all came to light, we had a brief conversation about it.
Yeah,
really,
nothing in depth though.
No.
So we're coming in cold, but at the same time, because I'm actually really keen to get it on the pod of what is your thoughts on all of this? And there's so much of it.
There's so much.
So today we're going to be talking about Ruby Frankie. So she is fascinating. But the whole thing is fascinating, and everyone around it. I'm really keen to get into this.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
So Ruby Griffiths, which was her maiden name, was born on the 18th of January in 1982. Her parents are Chad and Jennifer Griffiths, and they had 5 children. So Ruby was their eldest. They then had 3 girls, and then their youngest is a boy. They've got something like 22 grandkids or something like that.
Wow. Gosh.
So the interesting part about this, so for those of you who don't know Ruby Frankie and how she became famous, I guess, or she's notorious now, but famous at the time, is she started a YouTube channel called 8 Passengers, and it went gangbusters. Her parents were also vloggers. And
her sister first.
2 of her sisters.
Yeah, one of her sisters particularly that she sort of went, you're making money off this, so I'll see how I can go with that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like a very common thing within their family. I think it's really worth noting now that they're Mormon.
Yeah.
And this sort of family vlogging type situation is rife within the Mormon community.
Mum talk.
Oh, I love it. The Real Housewives. The Real Lives of Mormon Wives. Oh, my God.
The Mormon Wives one, God, that's batshit crazy, that one.
It's batshit crazy.
I'm hanging for season 3.
Oh, same. But you know what I really think that show shows is that what Mormons present is not necessarily what they live all of the time. Now, I'm not saying that every Mormon is like that by any stretch of the imagination, but they do give off a certain image, especially these ones who put their lives on YouTube or, on TV shows, and they you know, the idea or what they're presenting is that they're upholding these traditional Mormon values, like not drinking, no sex before marriage. Like, you know, if you're a strict Mormon, you don't even drink coffee, no stimulants at all.
Yeah.
And then they're going off and, I mean, we all know what happened. We all know, well, do we all know
Do
the
we
mum
all? If
talk?
you don't, let's talk. But yeah, no, I mean, the whole mum talk thing of like, you know, like soft swinging, whatever the hell that is.
Oh, come on. You're either swinging or you're not. But, you know, this is the thing, like what is actually going on behind closed doors, I think nobody knows. And similarly, and I think this is true of a lot of family vloggers, whether they're Mormon or not, is what is being presented and then what is actually happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And did you watch the documentary about Rudy?
There's been a couple I've watched.
Have you watched the full of Ruby Frankie?
I think that, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they had a lot of outtake footage that was given to them for that documentary.
Yes.
And I found it really fascinating because you could see the bits where she was leading up to recording, and then while she was recording, she was all like animated and blah, blah, blah,
the
blah.
opening scene
And
of
then
that,
isn't that
is
really disturbing?
Really disturbing. It actually is to watch of her. Like she's actually she's holding up some cards, trying to work out how she's going to like film this to then.
It was pens or something.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
she's holding something up, and she's like, you know, you can see the concentration and the, you know, planning ahead in the brain of like how this is going to work, but she's really serious and real, and then all of a sudden this, boom, and she's on like, hi, and like, oh, it's real switch, and it's actually, it is disturbing a little bit.
And then at one point, like she must hear her kids. You can't hear it in the video, and then she's like, I have told you, like, like at the kids, and then she's back, and it's like, boom, again, and she's like, and she practices it like 10 times into the camera, you know, smiling into it and animating her face so that she can get the right thumbnail or whatever it is she's trying to do.
Yeah, I'll do it like that. Yep. Okay, right. Okay. Yeah, it's very like, well, I mean, she's performing. And so then it becomes, to me, then it's not vlogging, because you're not just recording life as it is, you're actually performing. It's a completely different thing to me.
And I was actually going to make the exact same point.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not a vlog. This is not this is not a day in the life of, because as we get along, I'm sure we'll talk about this, but the way she makes her children perform, if they don't react in the right way to something, she makes them do it again. There's nothing authentic about what she's producing and putting out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's disturbing.
Yeah. Very interesting. Like how, and I mean, I've heard Chad, her eldest, or second eldest, sorry, talk about this, you know, as an adult himself now, of the fact of when they were recording that they would record most of the day, you know, and it would be that, you know, part of the day would be normal without the camera. But he said if you missed something, if you said something that was funny and like content, you then had to go, she would then, you know, get the camera out and go, you have to do that again, when it was just a family moment, which is what I guess, would be generally what a vlog would be. Like, you pick those moments that do happen and that are genuinely family, you know, incidents and things that go on. But yeah, she would make him repeat it and do it again. Like, it's like that's not authentic.
If you think about your life, there's not that many interesting things that happen. You have to create, like, in order. So they were putting out a video every day, 5 days a week, in their 8 passengers YouTube channel. 6 a.m. they would release the videos every weekday morning.
Every
day. And so in order to, and that their episodes, some of them were up to an hour long.
I mean, not only the getting the content's one thing. I mean, but we know editing it, putting that together as like, because I mean, you know, from a day of filming like that, she must have been like then editing into the all hours of the night to have that ready to go at 6 a.m. the next morning. So. That's pretty insane. Because you're going through a lot of hours of footage there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I did see an interview with her. This was before anything happened.
Yeah.
And somebody asked her about her process, and she said she kind of edited as she went. So like she'd have a computer or whatever, and she'd upload the bits into her software as she was like, oh yeah, I'm going to use that. I'll pop that in there now. Yeah. So I'm guessing it was like a progressive thing across the day. But you're right. A lot of work would go into that. But whose family generates an hour or 30 minutes even of interesting content in a day?
God.
She constantly had to push different things in order to get content.
That for that many, for releasing something daily, holy crap. Like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself and your family to do that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I think it's like, so let's have a bit of a chat. So Ruby was married to a man by the name of Kevin Frankie.
Yeah.
Now, they met at college, I believe. He's a little bit older than she is, but they met at college at BYU. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And they ended up really falling for each other. But even the story about that really gets me.
This is where, like, again, the Mormon situation gets me on that of, like, they really fell in love. Did they, though? Because, I'm not saying that they didn't either. I'm just asking the question because it is very typical in the Mormon faith that things move very quickly.
Yes.
So, it's not unusual when there's actually a TikTok thing where they go around and say, like, and ask Mormons, like, how long did you date for before you were married or engaged at least, and typically those people, like, it's like a question thing that gets asked of, like, people around BYU, right? And it's not unusual for 2 weeks, 2 months,
2 weeks.
Yeah, it's like there's definitely like very short times of space of like not meeting somebody, dating, and getting to that eventual point of like of engagement. To me, like in non-Mormon culture, 2 years would not be in any way abnormal, that you're dating someone before you're engaged. 1 year is probably still fast-ish, like 2 years is probably very normal. 5 years for myself, like kind of stuff before you went to the next one. It's a fast-moving thing. So then I really wonder how well you actually know that person. And
the funny thing about Kevin is he said he as soon as he saw Ruby, he fell in love with her.
Yeah.
And he pursued her. So in her closet at her house, so how the hell he was in her closet when they're Mormons they were even married? But anyway, that's a story maybe that Kevin can one day enlighten us on. But he was in her closet and he found this chart that she'd made, and it was all of the attributes that she wanted in a future husband and how important they were.
Right.
And it was things like, so it was from the incredibly superficial, like he needs to be at least 3 inches taller than me, something like that.
Yeah, right.
He needs to be handsome. He needs to have a well-respected job. He needs to have be a man of faith, blah, 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 blah. I'm talking, this chart was probably 2 A3 pages put together.
Part of me is like, go you know what you want. But at the same time, I'm like, you don't know. The perfect person might be 2 inches shorter than you, and does that really matter?
Exactly. But so Kevin found this and he's like, I did everything I could to check every single box.
So he didn't read it and go, I meet them all already.
No.
See,
well, it made him demonstrate. Maybe he had all of those attributes. I don't know, but it made him demonstrate them to her.
But then to me, then that's manipulation.
Manipulative, absolutely.
Because then
But then we also know. I just think in this, he was so one-eyed in wanting her and getting her.
Yeah.
That he did whatever it took, and he can justify that because he just knew she was the person for him. Yeah. And then, we'll talk about all of the things as they come along. But yeah, and so he got a hook, line, and sinker. I think they dated for 2 months before they got engaged.
And this is quite standard. Yeah. It's 2 months. Who knows the person?
And they can't do anything in that 2 months.
You don't know them.
They're fully chaperoned, so they can't even go on a date on their own. And then once they're engaged, they can't. They're not kissing or anything like that. Their first kiss is their first kiss is when they're bound together for time and all eternity in the temple.
Right. Sorry.
The look on your face.
Oh, man. Okay.
But that's what it is. Yeah. That's what they're committing to. And because Mormons believe that you are literally, once you are married in the temple, that you are literally together for eternity, time and all eternity.
I just think, oh, God. First guy that you've ever dated,
snogged.
Not even that, because you didn't even do that and you were engaged.
Oh, yeah, fair.
So I go back to that sort of thought in my mind and go,
what if he's a terrible kisser?
What if he's just a dick?
Yeah.
Because you don't know, especially when he's got your list and he's trying to meet all that criteria.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. I know. Look, it's not something that we, no. It's not something that is in our experience.
No, really out of my...
Yeah. So they lived in Utah, Mormon Central, in a really beautiful town, like absolutely,
Absolutely.
picturesque.
I really want to go to
stunning.
Utah.
Me too.
Like for many reasons.
Me
Like,
too.
but I just think I find every time I see photos and images of like their, towns and their, their housing and all that sort of stuff, I just go, oh my God.
Yeah.
It looks so lovely.
Picturesque.
The suburbia of Utah seems really lovely.
Yeah.
If only there weren't shootings and things and
That's
everything else that goes with all that shit.
They went on to have 6 children.
Yeah.
And we're going to name the eldest 2 because they are both, well, several of their children are of age. But at the time that all of the issues and everything that happened in this case came out, there were only 2 children who were of age at the time and spoke publicly.
Yeah.
So that is Cherie, their eldest daughter, and Chad, their eldest son.
Mm-hmm.
They then had 4 other children. They had a daughter, a son, and another daughter.
Yeah.
Now, we'll probably just refer to those children by their first initials because it is... We look, their names are out there. If you want to find them, you absolutely can.
them.
But they are the children that we're going to be talking about today in particular. They're still minors.
Yeah.
And they have experienced extreme trauma. We don't want to perpetuate any of that, but we do want to tell this story because it's just, I think
there's important reasons why we need to talk about this story.
And we will 100% be getting to that as we go through.
Yeah, but I think these kids need to have at least some anonymity, if they can have some, to be able to move on with their lives as they wish. And whether that be that in their own time they want to come forward and talk more.
Yeah.
But I think that's their
Absolutely.
decision, and I don't think we should be naming them for that reason.
No, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So the YouTube channel 8 Passengers, they launched that when Ruby was pregnant with their youngest daughter. And the first video that they released was them finding out the gender of that final child of theirs.
Yes.
And it garnered, quite a few views and it really started things going. Apparently in their first month on YouTube, they earned $87.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, the fact that they were monetizing that early means that they must have been doing pretty well pretty early on.
Absolutely. I think they got to about 5,000 followers real quick.
Okay.
Like that was sort of it blew up a little bit, like, to that point.
Yep.
But then it probably took about 2 years for them to get to that full blown next level where they reached like 2.5 million. But that's still a short space of time, really.
Very. I think at the peak they had just under 2.3 million subscribers.
Yeah.
And they were earning upwards of $120,000 a month.
Yeah.
That is just in YouTube revenue.
Yes.
That's it. That's not including any of the
Sponsors.
endorsements, sponsors.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of that sort of stuff.
Yes.
So they did ads for things like baby wipes, and they went to Disneyland and filmed a thing at Disneyland about using baby wipes to wipe surfaces and stuff. Like the amount of money that was being thrown at these people was insane.
They were making a lot of money. Yeah.
A lot of money.
Yeah. And so Ruby wasn't working and she didn't need to.
Well, she was working on the YouTube
That's
channel.
what I mean.
That would have been a full-time job.
Yeah, she wasn't working outside of the home. This job is what gave her the opportunity to be able to stay at home with her kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as I was saying before, this would have been a full-time job to her, absolutely, because so much needed to be done in terms of the equipment and setting it up and having it all recording and having it and repeating it over and over again to get it how you want it.
Getting it right.
But then the editing of that and uploading it and things, there is a lot that goes with all of that.
Yeah.
And when you see the videos too, you can tell from those initial videos to what came a bit later. She did take some time to find her feet in the editing process.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of difference between the initial ones in terms of amateurish to later ones where it is very much produced. And I dare say, look, as they were earning more money, there was a bit more of a team behind some of that, but she did a lot of it herself though, didn't she?
So at the start she did it all by herself. They then employed, as time went on, they employed a videographer and an editor. So I think by the time they were sort of at that peak, I don't know that Ruby had much of a hand in doing the grunt work of it, but I think she still chose what went into the videos and obviously had the final say in all of it.
Yeah.
Kevin was still working. He was a professor of civil engineering at BYU. His study of focus, earthquakes.
Oh.
Okay. I don't know. Is Utah an earthquake? I have no idea.
No, I don't know.
I know like LA is.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Utah in particular with regard to earthquakes, but that was his sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he stayed working as a professor for the whole time.
Yeah.
Like he never gave up his work.
Just on the point of like what they recorded on the daily too, there was nothing that was off limits. Literally. They filmed Kevin's grandmother's funeral. Mm-hmm. Like, vlogged it.
She vlogged a car accident she was in.
Yeah. There was so much that they put on this that anyone else I think would be like, well, clearly that's personal. Like, you know, that's too far.
That's too far.
No.
She filmed, so the video that they filmed when they were in the car accident was like, the video title was First Day Back at School Car Crash. Oh my God. And literally it was the first day back at school for the kids because she homeschooled some of them. It was a bit weird the way they did it. But the kids who were going to school, they were on their way and it wasn't Ruby's fault at all, but somebody came and sort of sideswiped her and her car went into another car.
What, the school roads around there are crazy and people do stupid things, do they? We don't know anything about that.
No, not at all. Actually, one of the school mums from our school commented on our thing to say, so if you're listening, thanks. And we know, yes, you do know exactly who we're talking about.
I know, I read that. I went, oh my God, oops.
But then, yeah, totally. We all know if you're going to drive like a dickhead, you've got to be going to be called out for it. But anyway, sorry. And in the vlog, she basically gets hit. She gets her camera out. Now, she does not know the state of anybody else who's been hit in this accident.
This
right?
is the thing. I mean,
she gets her vlogging camera out. She goes over with her camera. She gets the kids to stay in the car. They're all fine. She goes over with her vlogging camera and goes over to the other car to check that person was okay. That person was okay. She then goes.
But most importantly, it's the camera.
It's on she's filming it all.
It literally is video first priority. Me being recorded asking someone, "Are you okay?" is what's important there, not the answer to that question.
Exactly.
I'm like, that's just fucked up.
Anyway, so she then goes and checks the other car and that person's okay as well. She then goes back to her car and her youngest boy, R, is in the back crying. And she's like, you know, we just need to be thankful to God that we're all okay and that everybody's okay. And she then still just takes them to school.
She's just...
It's just, I don't know,
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, so that's you know, and then what about the video that she did where she takes Cherie bra shopping and puts that on YouTube?
Yeah.
Now, Mormons are modest, right?
Yes.
They're supposed to be modest.
Yeah.
Dress
I'd be
modestly,
mortified
discuss.
if that was put all over the internet.
And she's taking her teenage daughter, very young teenage daughter, mind you. I think she was 13, bra shopping, and she vlogged it.
Oh, that's cringe and awful for her daughter.
Cherie said at the time it didn't bother her, but then when she did the same thing to one of her younger sisters, she's like, oh, I felt really uncomfortable for my sister in that situation.
Like I could see it from a different perspective. Yeah. See, I wonder if there's a little bit of like, oh, I'm the center of attention, so I'm okay with it. But like when you see it from the other perspective of it happening with someone else,
it just looks a bit yuck.
It looks a bit yuck, and you kind of go, oh yeah, maybe that was a bit weird.
Yeah.
Like
the children were all employees of Ruby's, so technically they were paid.
Yeah.
Although what she paid them, and then we'll discuss the rest of that in a minute.
Yeah.
But what she paid them, it wasn't like they got a standard flat fee per day or something like that. She would give them, she'd be like, I'll give you $10 if you do this video.
If you do, right.
I'll give you $100 if you do this video with me.
Oh, so it was bribery. It wasn't a payment.
It was essentially bribery.
Yeah, that's not being paid as employee. It's like saying, you know, like if you come to this meeting, I'll feed you pizza, or we're not going to pay you. Like, you know what I mean? Like as in it's trying to incentivize what you actually do for your job.
Totally.
Yeah.
I feel like what they should have done, and I would never vlog my children, but you know, maybe pay them a flat rate of $100 a day each.
Yeah,
or something.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll get into all of it exactly what from where we get to from here with that. But yeah, it's that's not right. Like they're putting in a lot of work too.
Absolutely. Oh, well, people wouldn't be watching if they didn't have kids. You know,
Well, this is the thing. And then she knew that too. That was quite part of it that got her into it, because actually what happened was her sister was vlogging, but she didn't have any children, right?
Yep.
And they're having trouble falling pregnant.
Yeah.
And so, but the one video that did blow up was them finally finding out they were pregnant. And that was when she got the idea of like, oh, well, I'm already pregnant. I could do a video of the gender reveal and start vlogging and sort of going from there. So that was what she knew, that kids got the audience, and that's what would get people to bite. So, yeah, she knew that the kids were the pull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And the thing is, like, of course the kids were the pull, because they were the content for her. It was their lives that she was vlogging, really. Like, what did she... her life was her children.
That's all she had,
That's all
really.
she had, yeah.
And even more so as we went along, because she really started isolating herself from other people as well. It became so insular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is part of the problem.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yep.
Oh my
Just
goodness.
absolutely crazy. So should we get to the start of the end?
Yeah, I think that's
Well,
probably...
actually, let's just give a bit of a background. So Chad, their eldest son, in the vlogs, you sort of see things going along. So first of all, they present themselves as this perfect Mormon family. Then I guess as time goes along, people see bits and pieces, and what comes to light is that Chad's been expelled from school. Now, we don't really know the exact reason why, but I think it was a few incidents that had happened that sort of led to his expulsion.
He sort of talks about it, of just typical stuff that teenagers...
but there wasn't one thing, was there?
No, it was just little things. And he even says little things. There was nothing really major to it.
There's an expectation of perfectionism within the Mormon culture.
Yeah.
And I think he wasn't necessarily living up to that. I feel like he was rebelling the life that he was being forced to lead, I believe.
And
because in the videos, he looks depressed to me. Like, he's so downtrodden. And anyway, so it comes to the point where he's expelled from school. His mum and dad are like at their wits' end, even though these kids are, there is no,
they're really not bad.
They're really not bad. But they're at their wits' end. And so they decide to send him to a camp. And this is one of those wilderness camps that they have in the US that, like, a la Paris Hilton sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he goes out into the desert for 10 weeks.
10 weeks?
10
I thought you were going to say 10 days.
10 weeks. Without a shower. No shower for 10 weeks.
Ugh.
He goes out and they have to pitch their own tents and hunt for their own food. And I think some food was provided. They had to forage for other things and whatever. And I think it was in Arizona or something he went to this camp. It wasn't in Utah.
Oh, it was never nearby.
No.
Oh, God.
And so at the end of the 10 weeks, Ruby and Kevin go to the camp and they stay one night with him in the situation that he has just spent 10 weeks in, right?
Yeah.
Ruby says in the vlog the next morning, because of course she vlogged it all. Oh. She says in the vlog the next morning that she's like, that was the worst night's sleep I've ever had. I never want to do that again. I'm like, you've just subjected your, I think he was 16 or 17-year-old son to 10 weeks of this.
Oh, God.
Anyway, they drive home. He has a shower and, things are all hunky-dory again. The kid, all of the younger siblings are so happy to see him.
Yeah.
And, and they've really, really missed him. As part of this, I think there were some other behaviours that had sort of led to the point where Ruby decided... first things first. After he came back from the wilderness camp, Ruby decided that he probably needed some counselling to kind of keep him on track and to make sure that none of these naughty things sort of happen again. And she's recommended a psychologist. I put that in inverted commas for those of you who are not watching us, by the name of Jodi Hildebrandt. And
she's like the go-to in terms of the Mormon church. She was very much that's the person you see.
Yeah. She was definitely at the forefront of, like, she was very visible within the church. And then obviously, she was the guru that everyone would go and see.
She was making a fortune. She was worth about $4 million when they first met. And she was charging about $200 an hour for her counselling.
Yeah. And she basically would counsel Chad. Now, I think most of the people who were seeing her, she made them subscribe to this model of care that she developed. not based in any evidence whatsoever. And this has been sort of debunked by a lot of psychologists since all of this information has come out.
Yeah.
But she would put people on these plans whereby they would need to see her several times a week and do all of these different protocols that she developed. Some people were paying $1,000 a week to receive her therapy.
Yeah.
$1,000 a week.
Yeah.
Now, Chad says that at the start, he was a bit resistant, but as time went on and he had more and more sessions with her, he kind of did become comfortable with her and started to take on some of her practices, and it did have a positive benefit at the start in his life.
Yeah.
And it really did help to sort of settle him and whatever.
Yeah.
But he was a teenage boy, right? So she would tell him things like, she was like almost like a priest in the way that she spoke to her, I'm going to say disciples, but to her patients.
Clients, yeah.
She would basically make them repent for things that they had done or thought of or whatever. And so Chad, as a teenage boy, at some point had viewed pornography, right? This is just one example. She never let him live that down or give that up. And she just said he was like...
That made him evil.
That's right. He had the devil in him.
Yeah. And that's what she would do. She would manipulate from that point of like, these were people who are already very much have faith, right? So she would take that faith that they already had and make it take it to a whole nother level of, that sin makes it even worse again, and really drag them down into these depths of absolute feeling shame and that they were evil for these thoughts or things they had done that really just battered them. It was just beating them down, I guess, and really making you feel shit about yourself.
Yeah, so she's not doing what people have gone there to get her to do. Like, they're not feeling better about themselves.
No, the only way you could feel better about yourself was to then, repent and
pay her $1,000 a week.
Yeah, and, improve your life and meet her standards of what she was setting, that he had to do all these things to be able to then not be the evil piece of shit she was making out he was for these fairly minor things that he was doing.
There was a lot of the things were so minor, but it was made out to be so major.
Yeah.
I think, she was such a in the documentary Devil in the Family, The Fall of Ruby Frankie, it's available on Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus, yeah.
They talk in that documentary, they've got a man that she sort of mentored or shadowed for about 12 months. And he basically said he had to get away because as a trained counsellor, because the things that she was telling her patients to do were not based in evidence, were completely outside their code of practice. And she shouldn't have been practicing that way, and it made him so incredibly uncomfortable. She would split marriages apart. She would, it got really, really dangerous to be one of her patients.
Absolutely. There's a number of people that have come forward since about their counselling with her. Basically one of the things that she attached to very quickly with people was, you were mentioning like the porn before, that if they've watched porn once, it's not just watching porn once, you're addicted to porn.
Yep.
And convincing the wife or the partner, and I say wife because she also did counsel gay marriages and all that sort of thing, but, the other partner, she would convince them that the other partner who's been watching the porn, they're addicted to porn, you need to get away from them. They need to like sort their shit out and separate them. So rather than counselling them together then, even of kind of going, okay, we've done this, let's move, like how are we going to move through this together? It would be an immediate, you need to separate. And, because he needs to sort that out and watching that porn because that's evil and he's fully addicted. And you as the partner, you need to, separate yourself from it because you don't want to like catch it. A lot of her practices were entrenched in homophobia, transphobia.
Oh, absolutely.
All of these sorts of things were going on in terms of her counselling as well. So, she was bad news.
Bad news.
Yeah.
She was an astute businesswoman though, because she pretty quickly, as her popularity began to rise, she pretty quickly realised that even though she's charging $200 a pop, there's only so much of her that can go around, and there's essentially a finite number of hours in a week that she can practice.
Yeah.
So what she started to do was make up these courses.
Yeah.
And she would either have people come to seminars that she would host and present. It was under the brand Connections with an X. But she... it was an amazing business model because she was able to, in an hour, reach, I don't know, 30 people or 40 people or a room full of people who were paying her still the $200 for the hour or the whatever much for the hour. And she also would then host these online groups as well. So she was able to then have a far further reaching, geographically further reaching, group of people come to her seminars that were held online. She hosted these men's groups, which were fucking horrific.
Oh, yeah.
She hated men.
Yeah. Oh, she really
hated
did.
men.
Yeah.
Now, this Jodi Hildebrandt had been married and divorced, which in the Mormon church in and of itself is a big no-no. She had children that she was estranged from. Yep. We don't actually know anything about them, which, let that be. Absolutely, they deserve their anonymity and to be completely separate from her because, oh, my God, yes, good on them. They obviously saw the light.
Yep.
I mean, they'd be adults now anyway.
Yeah.
So, but she was somehow then the authority on marriage and the authority on relationships and, she was going way outside her scope of practice in terms of what information she was providing to couples in these couples therapy type situations to these men who she said she basically told all men they were evil.
Absolutely, she would. Yeah. And I just say broke up marriages over it, and just that was her MO, big time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's an evil piece of shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Actually, at the end of this, even I'll say she's worse than Ruby.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I fully agree. I fully agree.
Yeah.
So. What I was getting back to before when we sort of started talking about Chad. So I think it's probably worth noting as well, in all of the 8 Passengers vlogs, Cherie was kind of a bit like the golden child because she was the eldest. She was a girl. Her personality, she's a beautiful now woman, but she was a beautiful girl, very well natured, but you could just tell she went along. She placated her mum.
Yep.
She did everything her mum asked. She was the peacekeeper of the family.
Yep.
And we look at that from being parented by a narcissist. There is always a peacemaker. She was that person and she took on that role. She was certainly very much a mother figure for her younger siblings.
Yeah.
She and Chad had a very, very close relationship growing up.
Yep.
And so she was kind of seen by Ruby as being this wonderful child and, the poster child and whatever. Then, juxtaposed with Chad who, might have looked at porn once.
But he's the devil child.
Yeah, the devil child, who, most people would be enamoured to have a child like Chad.
Yeah. Oh, God. I mean, really.
Yeah.
He's a lovely kid. I mean, and now adult too. I mean, I've seen interviews with him very recently and wow, really impressive.
Very impressive young man.
And I mean, and Sherry as well, she's incredibly impressive. She's written a book now, obviously a very interesting book. And something that she really talks about in that book too is that we think about Ruby Frankie and Jodi Hildebrandt and that becoming sort of the start of this, child abuse that we get to and things, but it's not. So Sherry also talks about the fact that prior to Jodi, there was abuse going on, and you can see that in her videos as well. Who was just saying at the beginning how that that she would be filming and she would absolutely unleash screaming, yelling at children in the background who happened to just interrupt her recording, from making kid noises, they're in the home,
playing,
and so apparently that was very standard in their home that they would get yelled at a lot, and I don't mean we all yell at our kids at all times, but
I think you think you yell at your kids, and then you look at videos like that. And I don't yell at my kids.
I don't actually yell at them. No, she was next level yelling at her kids. Sherry also talks about playing the piano and learning piano, and if she stuffed up, that the piano lid would get shoved on her fingers, and so there was physical abuse as well and things like that going on.
There's also withholding of food as well.
Absolutely. So lots of things like that going on prior. And what actually Sherry says was that when Jodi came on the scene, things actually on they looked better, and she actually was grateful for Jodi, because what Jodi did for Frankie Ruby at the beginning was that she got her to calm, so there was no more yelling. The yelling stopped. So she was like, oh my God, to not be yelled at all the time. And she was very, like, eerily actually level and calm. So that was something that Jodi Hildebrandt brought in, that, you know, that you didn't yell anymore. But unfortunately it brought a whole lot of other things that came.
Do you think it's interesting, the kind of things, though, that around this time that Ruby was then letting show on the vlog? So what I'm referring to is a specific incident where one of the younger children had left their lunch at home and the school rang to say, E has left her lunch at home. Do you mind if you're available, please bring some food up to the school.
Oh, the way she speaks about this just does my
I know.
head.
And she's like, and she says to the teacher, and this blows my mind because I just would never. She says to the teacher, no, she knows the consequences of her actions. And then
She was 6.
She was 6. She should have packed her own lunch. I asked her if she packed her lunch and she said she had. And then she says, I really hope nobody gives her food today.
Yeah. She needs to know the consequences of not packing her own lunch. So, and I know that would make the teacher more comfortable if I went up there with something for her. But I'm not about making you more comfortable, teacher. My child needs to feel the consequences of not doing what she's meant to do.
So I feel like that around this time there was this. It's fucking disgusting.
It's gross.
It's
absolutely
disgusting.
gross. But what I can't then understand, there's a whole lot wrong here. But the school, I don't believe, reported anything.
No, because I feel like they would have just given her food and moved on.
Yeah, but there would have been a lot of other things going on too.
I
think there would have been a whole picture is what I'm getting at, rather than, just the food thing. There would have been hang on a second.
Yeah.
This isn't. To get, a parent saying, oh my God, yeah, my kid's not got a lunchbox.
But I'm in the city and I can't get back.
Well, there's one thing about, doing the whole, putting on a show for the school and going, oh my God, I can't believe they forgot your lunch. Oh, I feel terrible. Okay, well, I can't get there, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you deal with that?
Yeah.
Right? Then there's a whole other level of her saying, no, she needs to have the consequences of that. And actually burrowing down into this, I'm going to have this stance that, my 6-year-old needs to feel consequences and feel hungry. She wanted her child to feel hungry and voiced that. That is someone who has no conscience of that might not be the right thing.
Oh no, she fully thinks it's the right thing to do. She also says in one of the vlogs, I've told the kids they're not allowed to eat until they finished all their chores this morning. What?
Yeah, food became a real...
And when I say chores, it's not just make your bed and then come out for breakfast.
Ooh, no.
It was these kids, there's videos of it. She even put this stuff in her vlogs as well.
Yeah.
They are scrubbing walls. They are cleaning skirting boards. They're cleaning
full
in
armies,
between the rungs. Full army shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable what they were expected to do.
Yeah.
And I get it, having 6 kids. Who's got the time to do anything? Yes, you need to have kids pitch in or whatever and do little jobs, but this was this was full on.
And not withholding food until they've done it.
That's
next level.
Oh, who needs a grumpy, bloody hungry kid? Jesus.
But they weren't allowed to be grumpy.
No.
Because then there'd be other consequences for them. They had to
need to be on for the camera.
That's right.
Oh, God, it's just awful.
Oh, it's horrible. Absolutely. So, yes, you do start to see abuse on the channel, even though people didn't necessarily recognise it as that at this time.
There's a point where people did, yeah.
So what you're referring to is there's a particular vlog that she put out, and in it, it's basically her, Chad, and one of the younger children sitting there discussing I don't even know what they were discussing at the time.
This wasn't what was going to come out. It just sort of came out naturally.
Chad basically said, they were talking about consequences, and she said she gives consequences for 6 months, never less than 6 months. Right?
What kid remembers what they did yesterday when you tell them off?
I know. I find it hard to follow through on a consequence for a day.
Well, I know. I do the whole you're like, oh, that's it. No iPad for a week. Oh no, hang on,
that's
wait,
a punishment
I can't do
for me.
That. Half an hour.
As long as there's impact, let's follow through with that. But basically, in this vlog, Chad basically says, well, I only just got my bedroom back 2 weeks ago. I've been sleeping on a beanbag in the basement for 6 months.
The
And
whole that
Ruby,
that just
Ruby goes, I don't think our followers know about that, Chad. But she keeps it in the vlog and posts it.
she posted it. She could have chosen to just keep that video out, but she
Well,
didn't.
the second it gets posted,
Yeah.
the vitriol starts. So their comments go from being overwhelmingly
there'd already been a
positive.
few comments coming. Like it had been a little bit of some people picking up on stuff, but this was the absolute turning point. Yeah.
To the point where like people were writing things like, this is vile, how can you do this? This is child abuse, somebody report them. You know,
Yeah.
the comments are...
There was a change.org petition started as well that ended up 20,000
right.
signatures were on it.
And it was in a really short space of time,
Yes.
like within a week or something.
Yeah, within a couple of weeks, if that. Yeah, like it was
Yeah.
real quick, 20,000 people. That's a huge amount of people to sign a change.org petition.
Oh, yeah.
And so the petition was asking for basically authorities to step in for this.
They wanted CPS to go and investigate,
Yeah.
Child Protective Services to go and investigate.
Absolutely. And I think fair.
Oh, absolutely. So Ruby actually took that video down as soon as she started getting all these negative comments.
Well, I think she just turned comments off. I don't think she actually took it down.
She
Did
took it off.
Did she take it down?
Yep, she took it down.
Because, Chad talks about like the fact that there were consequences for him for that video. And it's like, well, they're not consequences. They shouldn't be consequences for him. You chose to put that up there and you thought that would be, that's okay. One, you thought it was okay to do it in the first place.
Yeah.
And then you thought it was okay for other people to know about it and not feel that way. That poor kid, I mean...
That wasn't his fault.
Sleeping on a shit mattress can do bad things to your back when you're a growing teenager, let alone sleeping on a fucking beanbag. But just even the thought of the emotional damage of that, of having your bedroom removed from you. I mean, that's just psychologically so awful.
Oh, it's fucked up. It's so fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, God, whether that bedroom was a shared bedroom or, I'm not talking about that. Your space where your things are removed from you and taken away from you.
He wasn't even allowed to go into his bedroom.
Because the other thing was he also had his door removed from his bedroom at one stage and his bathroom door removed. So he wasn't even allowed any form of privacy.
For a teenage boy, come on.
No kidding. If this kid was going to school and mucking up, good on him.
But it was rebellion. Like, of course it was. These poor kids.
Yeah, and that's not even the worst of it. Like,
Oh,
if you wanna
God,
rank
not even
this
close.
stuff. I don't even want to rank it because it's all awful.
It's all bad.
But yeah, it's like just fucked up.
It's so fucked up. You know, I think we haven't even mentioned Kevin in all this. He's just a passive passenger.
Because he's a passenger.
Yeah.
Oh, well, because we can get to him entirely. I have serious opinions.
Oh, so do I. So do I. We'll get to him. We will get to him.
Yeah.
It's just not now's probably.
Well, because he's not present with this, and that's where he doesn't come up, which is
he's not present
issue,
in
I
that.
guess.
He's not really in the vlogs that much because he's at work all day, right? But Ruby certainly in some of the vlogs that he's in, she discusses things. There are certain vlogs that they do where it's sort of like talking heads, where they're filming themselves discussing things that have happened, and he just goes along with literally everything she says.
Yeah.
And she gets angry with him sometimes, like in these behind-the-scenes ones that you can see in that documentary I mentioned. And she's like, Chad, you've got to talk more. But then Kevin, you've got to talk more. But then when he says stuff, she gets angry at him for saying stuff. So he's fucked if he doesn't. He's fucked if he doesn't.
Absolutely. But I mean, enabler. Because with this incident with Chad with the beanbag stuff and the video being, going not right, not how she wanted it to, when that happened, Chad talks about the fact that, she'd been very calm because Jodi Hildebrandt was around at this point, obviously, and she'd been calm and not yelling and stuff. But when this happened, she yelled. She flicked back into her old self, and he was getting this, absolute vitriol of abuse at him, verbally. And Kevin did apparently say, okay, no, this isn't okay, and did tell Ruby, stop. Chad removed him and said, hit him, you go, and he was left to calm her.
Right.
So, but I still don't think it was oh, how dare you speak to my child like that? It was more of a, oh, Chad, your poor mum feels awful, so I'm going to help her. Like it was a bit more that orientated. So, yeah. So from this point, like obviously this was in 2020, I believe the video, that video went up.
Yeah, it was 2020.
So they still kept putting videos up after this point.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until
but can I just say that sorry, at this point, this is where their subscribership really started declining.
Did.
So they really reached a peak right before this.
Yeah.
at that sort of 2.3 million mark,
Yeah.
massive amounts of money every month. And it was around this time that shift really started.
Yeah, and also because sponsors started pulling themselves too, like once that started.
In fact, I believe with that one video, they lost 95% of their sponsorships.
Yeah.
Which raked in the most amount of money for them.
Yeah.
So I'm talking they're earning 120 grand a month from YouTube revenue. That was their lesser income compared with the brand sponsorships
Exactly.
they had. So we're talking so much money, it's not even funny.
Yeah. And that's what, and like, so from a kid's perspective of that, 16-year-old, 17-year-old Chad, he says now, even thinking back on it, that was his worst fear actually, was like it been so drilled into them as a family that this is how they make their money and this is how they have their lifestyle, that he was really concerned about the money going.
That poor boy, but that wasn't for him to worry about.
That's not for him to worry about. Like that's not okay. I feel him on that, because I know when he's spoken about it, he feels bad for thinking about the money, and that he should have like probably maybe felt more around how he was being treated, but he was so brainwashed into what this was, that you had to perform a certain way and it's your fault that we're not getting money. I mean, to feel like that kind of pressure on you at that age is just
It's not okay. No. It's not okay.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So I guess as the time went on, they are losing they're losing followers, and the vibe generally shifted. They had their core group of people that were still loving on them and whatever, but really having lost these sponsorships and the amount of views that they were getting, things. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna, can I ask did you ever get into this, watching this stuff? Because it's not, vlogging like this isn't as big a thing now.
Thank God.
Yeah, I mean it's still around. But, I mean, I know my kids, I would watch like those, like, was it his name Ryan, that kid Ryan, and on YouTube and stuff, and that used to do my head in. But have you ever got into watching?
No.
I've never got into it, whereas there are people who are, very much, go to these particular pages. I just can't imagine.
But they must watch it like they watch TV.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I never have. I've never been invested in
I hated
YouTube.
my kids listening to it, like let alone to the one.
My kids have never, we've kept our kids away from YouTube.
Yeah,
so.
my kids don't really watch YouTube at all anymore. Now it's more like, can I look this up on YouTube? And like, you can do that.
Yeah.
But but that was one, because that was one that like got me a bit of the whole, I can't do this, like this whole unwrapping things, or whatever.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah, that was one that,
a
bloody billionaire.
Oh yeah,
no,
he's absolutely. He's an absolute. They've made an absolute fortune, that family. Yeah. Insane. But that's probably the one I've watched the most of.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't even say, certainly not weekly, thing that we're watching, or daily, let alone.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't even know how much they posted. But yeah, like I don't really get the whole watching them. But yeah, there's obviously a lot of people who do.
Yeah, there must be.
Yeah.
There must be. I mean, if people are still doing it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So around, like, as over the next probably couple of years, they kept vlogging, but things were declining. And the relationship between Ruby and Jodi really started to cement.
Interesting.
And so Ruby basically became like a business partner to Jodi in her connections.
Cult. But so, because basically one point in 2022, like the 8 passengers page just stopped being put on it. It sort of did filter a little bit. It was like lessening and lessening, but all of a sudden one day, no more. It just didn't. There was 4 months that went by with no posting whatsoever, and everyone was a bit like, where the hell did she go? Like, what the hell? Like, so I mean, I wasn't anyone who was watching that I know there's people who have followed her obviously then from the get-go of this, and so she was famous. I mean, to them she was. I mean, I had no idea who this person was until we probably hit about now.
Same.
So 4 months go and she's not online at all. I mean, what is the hell has happened to this whole family when they just disappear when they've been there every single day for, what was it, 4 years, 5 years?
About
2015.
7 years. 2015 they started and they stopped.
2022. So 7 years have been online. One of the children literally was born whilst they started. It's insane. So then all of a sudden she pops up on another YouTube channel with Jodi Hildebrandt as her business partner.
Moms of Truth.
Oh, vomit.
Now, this YouTube channel is interesting.
Yeah.
They basically sit on a couch and preach their shit to people. And so it's not a vlog style.
Nope.
It's completely different.
Show.
It's a show.
Yeah.
It is. It's like they've produced their own show.
It's a talk show. Yeah.
And they discuss all of Jodi's wise teachings.
So, because at this point, like, and this, what they're saying is that that Ruby has trained under Jodi and is now what's she call herself? A fitness.
Oh, I've actually got it written down. You keep going and I'll find it.
Okay. Yeah. So she trained in this style of coaching, and so that she was able to coach other families on their, troubles with their teens and what have you.
The other thing to note is that Hildebrandt had lost her license at this point.
Yes. So, yeah.
So she was actually not able to practice as a psychologist.
It was suspended for 18 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
she had clients who she was releasing private confidential information about to the church and to the university, to BYU. Like, they're all linked in with this BYU as well, which is all really weird. So she had basically given client information around. She talked to the church about clients who were watching porn, like as if, they'd watched it once, but no, they're addicted to porn. So she was actually telling the church that these men were porn addicts and all these sorts of things. Men were losing their jobs and stuff over it, because that's such a no-no in that community, that they were being shunned by people and like being kept out of the church then because, oh God, you're evil. It was consolidating what she was putting to them of saying you're evil with this, because other people were then judging them as well, but on false information, really. Yeah. So really gross. So she was it was proven that she was doing that, and so she lost her license for 18 months.
So she was then saying that she was a life coach, because that's unregulated and anyone can be a life coach and say that they're a life coach. So she's now coming across as a life coach, although she still told people she was a psychologist.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, technically she's got the qualification, but she's just not licensed anymore now. Well, at that
just
point.
Forgot to mention that bit.
Yeah. Oh, God. So, they would show up on this show every week or whatever, the two of them, and they would spout their absolute disgusting shit. But in the background too, Hildebrandt had moved in to the Frankie home.
Yep. So at this point, Cherie was getting ready to go off to college, and she was a couple of weeks off moving out of home, and she got told by Ruby, you need to move all your stuff out of your room now because Jodi's moving in.
Yeah.
Now, Kevin describes this time as unusual because so number one, Hildebrandt had this $5 million mega mansion compound. That's a good way to describe it.
That's massive.
Down in a southern part of
Ivans, in
Utah, which was about a 4-hour drive, I think from where they were living in Salt Lake City.
Springville.
Yeah. So anyway, so she'd come up to live with them because she was experiencing some like troubles, and she thought she was possessed by a demon. And so when she moved into the house, so first of all, Sherry was kicked out of her room and Jodi moved in there. And then Kevin was saying that he'd come home and like the lights This is actually very funny. The lights would flick on and off. Someone and Jodi would have these like demonic possession type turns where she'd be like, you couldn't talk to her. She was possessed and she was in the corner like shaking and her eyes were flicking back in her head.
Things would float around the place.
Yeah.
It was
so friggin' bizarre.
Oh.
So anyway, I think, so the way Kevin describes it is that that Ruby was so worried about Jodi that she used to, at the start, she would go up every 4 hours and check on her overnight, make sure she was okay. Then it became every hour. And then she said to Kevin, well, I might as well just stay the night with her.
Stay in her room and look after her overnight.
Look after her.
What?
So one day Sherry came home from university to get some more things out of her room to take back to college or to university. And she walked into a room and there was like massage oil and candles on the bedside table. And she's like, I knew immediately that Mum and Jodi were having an affair. Well, like, were in a relationship.
When she's interviewed about it, she's very like, there was a relationship. And then, like, so do you think it became physical? And she's like, I don't know. And then she just gives this
knowing grin. But she said in the book, and I think it's actually later, it's kind of like out there now that they absolutely were in a sexual relationship together. So, okay, but then, take that of what you will.
Oh, but she's so homophobic.
She's so homophobic.
Like, just insane.
She's a horrible, horrible person. Yeah. And yet she's having... And you can tell their videos, their Connexions videos, become more and more intimate. They touch each other on the leg. They sit so close to each other.
Do.
It would make me want to vomit.
Oh,
like,
same.
If Peter wanted to sit that close to me, I'd be like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah, too close, back off.
Oh,
I can't even.
No.
So, okay, that's what's happening, right? Unbeknownst to poor old Kev, who thinks they're just platonically sleeping in bed together. Like, you fucking idiot. You fucking idiot.
Really?
But what Jodi decides and then tells Ruby to do, and Ruby is under Jodi's spell for sure. Like, Ruby, Jodi says jump, Ruby says how high. Basically says that this separation now needs to happen between Kevin and Ruby because Kevin, who was once Jodi's golden head boy in these men's groups that she would run, she then started to turn on him. And
in the groups, he said it's like really like bizarre. Like I was all of a sudden the piece of shit.
Yeah.
Whereas before I was always, Kevin always does that brilliantly. Kevin, you tell us how you manage that. And Kevin this. And then all of a sudden it was like, not Kevin.
Yeah.
He's now a porn addict.
Yep.
What? That's something you've said before about everyone else.
Yeah.
She had total MO.
Oh, 100%. And so, and she said he was like, he had distorted thinking.
That was a whole thing, the distortion.
Yeah.
So that was what she used to talk to Chad about too.
Yeah.
Everyone had distortions. Like if you did it, like was like a distortion was like a bad behavior and you don't want distortions in your life. Mm-hmm. So if someone else did something that was, a distortion, then you can't have them in your life because you can't have distortion.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest word. I can't.
Yeah. I know, it's weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't really mean anything.
No. She just made that up.
But because of that, Jodi's convinced Ruby that Chad and Kevin, for the same reasons, need to move out of the home and have separation from the family.
Yeah.
Ruby makes Kevin, now this even fucking blows my mind. He literally comes home from work one day at 5 o'clock and she's like, you need to move out. And he's like, okay.
Yeah. Weak piece of shit.
Weak as fucking piss.
Oh.
And Chad, as he was 17, was told the exact same thing, but he wasn't allowed to live with Chad because they needed separation from each other.
Yeah.
So, sorry, he wasn't allowed to live with Kevin because they needed separation from each other.
Oh, yeah, no, we'll do this for you, Ruby. What the fuck?
So Kevin moves out, gets himself an apartment.
Yep.
Chad moves out, gets himself an apartment and a job because
he can't...
even though he's been on fucking this wildly successful YouTube channel for 7 years, he actually doesn't have any of his own money at this exact same time. So then Kevin calls Sherry and tells her what's going on and says, you're not allowed to contact me.
No.
I am to have no contact for at least 12 months from anyone in the family.
And he just accepts that, mate?
And he goes, yeah, sure. Sherry then messaged him after this because she was like, oh my God, after processing that, like that doesn't seem right. I need to talk to Dad more.
Yeah.
She messaged him and he basically said, you cannot contact me again. Kevin has then told Ruby that Sherry messaged him. Ruby has then fully banished Sherry from the family. She cut her off from, so they were paying her rent or whatever at university and her car insurance or something and health insurance, I think they were paying for.
Yeah, right.
Cut it all off.
What a fucking sack of shit.
What a sack of shit. How could you do that to your own child?
There's no way you could do that to your own child. That's so mentally unwell.
So fucked up.
And the fucking wanker Kevin just allowing that to happen to not only himself but his kids and to say, you can't have contact with them.
And your 17-year-old's just out there in the world and
he's not allowed to contact you and
he's out there, he's got to find somewhere to live on his own. Are you fucking kidding me?
What planet is that in any way normal?
Oh, it's just not.
I can't. And that's where I just go with Kevin. You're as bad as anyone in this.
Yep.
you are a weak piece of shit.
Yeah.
I have no time for him.
No, he's a sack of shit too.
Yeah. I mean,
and he's left his 4 younger children in a house that he knows where this woman thinks she's possessed by the devil and all this shit.
Who just walks away from that? Going, but hang on, there's some weird shit going in that house.
Yep.
And no, but I'll just leave and leave you guys to it to
sort
that out, like with my young children there too. Mm-hmm. And my other older children who, you know, are now, oh God.
Anyway, the other thing that gets me about this is Ruby rings him one day. So he's not allowed to contact Ruby, but Ruby can contact him.
Oh, of course.
Now, mind you as well, he's also still paying child support for all six children.
Yeah.
Right?
Nah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, okay, she's taking his money and doing whatever with it. Okay, yes, I know children need money to live, but...
Well, but if you go kicking him out like that and like giving him no access...
she's also got her own, Jodi's money as well at this time because they had this business together. So their business was earning money, whatever.
Yeah.
That's between them, that bit.
Yeah.
But which he just did whatever she said anyway.
Well, this is it. He wasn't paying that to to sort of go, I care for my kids. He was just doing it because he was being told to.
Yeah.
That's what I can't stand.
Yeah.
It's not that you wouldn't pay it.
Yeah.
It's the fact of only doing it because you're being dictated
anything.
and told to do this. Question things, mate. Question things.
Come on. So he then... Ruby rings him one day and they hadn't had contact for literally almost 12 months at this point, right? And she's like, if I send a document to you, if I put a document in front of you, will you sign it not knowing what it is? This is an exercise in trust and this is part of what we need to do to get back together. Now, he wanted nothing more than to get back together with her.
He was literally like, I'll do anything you tell me.
Anything. And so he was like, yes, absolutely. I'll sign anything you want me to sign. I trust you. I trust you implicitly.
Wouldn't trust her as far as I could throw her.
Nope. So she does that, right?
Yeah.
She puts this document in front of him. He covers any content of it. He signs it.
What a dick.
You know what the document was? To be able to sell their house.
Oh my God.
So she sells their house. She puts it up to rent out to start with. Right? But they're moving out. Ruby, Jodi, and the 4 kids are moving out.
Okay. Right.
So they are in the process of all of this and they're moving into Jodi's compound.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because during this time, Ruby was spending more and more time at
the compound.
Ivan's with at the compound, but not the children. So, because quite often Sherry would call CPS and call the police and ask for welfare checks because she knew that the young children, so at this point we've got about 7, 8-year-old and sort of 10-year-old-ish at home by themselves.
Yeah. The 4 youngest will often left, and I'm not talking left to go up to the shops and get milk, which is not okay either.
No.
I'm
days.
Days and days.
So she would call and ask for them to go and do welfare checks. Now this gets me.
Same.
So they would arrive at the house and there'd be no answer. So they couldn't do anything.
Or, no, because I heard one account where they knocked on the window or something and they saw a kid come to the window.
They'd see the children,
And so they were like, we've seen that the kids are alive and well, but nobody answered the door, so we had to go away.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You didn't even see an adult in the house.
The issue is that they're unsupervised and no adults in the house for days on end.
Yeah.
You needed to speak to someone, but they classified that as being checked,
a welfare check done. Yeah.
No, you haven't spoken to those children. Do they have food? Do they have access to, what are they going to school? Do they have an adult looking after them?
And they didn't.
No. And so that sort of was everything's fine. We've seen them. That's enough. Yep. Not spoken to them, not spoken to anybody else. They just hadn't, and apparently legally, there was nowhere else they could go for some reason.
That doesn't seem right, does it?
Seem right. I think things have slightly changed since this because of it. But it's that doesn't sit well. But Sherry regularly would contact and...
Yeah, well, the neighbours would contact her and say, the kids have been left at home again. And the neighbours, I think they hold some guilt in all of this as well because
prior to this, they were very much a community around the neighborhood, and they all knew the Frankie family and were all they all got along and all shared in things out in the yard and with the kids and would have barbecues or whatever, these things. Particular neighbors then were, you know, put to the side and
Shunned
wouldn't speak to them.
something,
And one neighbour in particular talks about the fact of she kind of removed herself because she just found it all very weird and couldn't agree with the parenting that was happening. And she just found herself in a position of, oh, I just can't condone this.
Yeah.
But was watching the kids from afar going, what do I do to help them? And she would, contact Sherry and, because it wasn't okay. So sad. Yeah.
So
So
sad.
Ruby was spending a lot more time at the compound.
But then eventually they did move three of the three younger children definitely spent a significant amount of time down there towards the end.
Yeah.
So at the time of, I guess, this all coming to a head, the three youngest children were, I'm going to say living, but they were being held captive in the compound in Ivans.
Yeah.
And the way that this all came about is so fucking sad.
Oh.
You can see this. You just need to Google the video, and it's basically doorbell cameras or CCTV from people's homes where who's the youngest boy of the family, he escapes from the compound one morning and he goes to neighbours' houses, and the first house he rang the doorbell, there was no answer, so he goes a few houses down, knocks on their door.
Sparse,
they're very spread
they're
out,
big blocks of land obviously where they are, and big houses, all of them. But so he goes through the next one, which is a fair way down the road.
I think it was like 400 yards. I don't know, but and he had like only socks on, and it was like desert heat. This is arid desert where she lives. Yeah. So he knocks on the door or rings the doorbell, and he waits there for a few seconds, and then he obviously thinks nobody's home. He starts to walk away, and then an older man comes to the door. This man says, "Can I help you, son?" And he said, I need two favours. And the old man goes, well, what are they? And he goes, I need you to take me to the nearest police station. And the man sort of with that comes out of his house. Yeah. And he goes, come and sit down. He had a little patio chairs.
Even the way he says to him, like, actually, even just that one favour will do.
One. Yeah, that'll be.
And I thought, oh my God, because the other favour I dare say is like, can I have some food, water?
Yeah.
Like, he's like prioritising, I just think, just get me to the police.
Yeah.
And the thing was, what he explained as well, what R said to him was that, I know I'm in a lot of trouble, and so the police should just take me away.
Yeah.
It was his fault.
Like he thought it was his fault. He was the bad one.
Yeah.
So the 911 call that this man makes is absolutely heartbreaking.
It is.
He calls 911 and says they need police, and he starts to describe the condition that R is in. With that, you can see his wife back and forth in and out of the house getting food and water for R. And they don't really know what to do. The wife is panicking. You can see she's like in a really heightened state because I think she's worried that someone's going to come and get them.
You can kind of hear her say, like, an ambulance, and they need to be now. Yeah, like they don't. It was almost like prioritising an ambulance for him over the police at this point, like kind of stuff. I think she recognised how malnourished he was,
and how significant the injuries were. Because what the man describes, I think his name was Don, what he describes to the 911 dispatcher is that he's got significant wounds around his ankles and wrists. The tissue was basically...
it was down the bone.
Apparently the smell was horrific. And he was in filthy clothes, and he looks so malnourished. His little legs. Now, he's a 12-year-old boy at this point.
Yeah, he was 12.
The skinniest
you could put your
legs.
fingers around his legs, like that's how small he was.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And he said he was really thirsty and really hungry, so he hadn't had any water. So anyway, with that, I think every police officer in the Ivans area is dispatched, and 2 ambulances, because what is asked is there anybody else at the house? And Don sort of relays the fact that there are 2 other, or what R thinks are 2 other of his sisters in the home.
Yeah.
What transpires actually is, so basically then the police come and ambulances come, they start tending to R. Unfortunately, like one of the ambulance officers is seen on police body cam footage, sorry, she's breaking down. She couldn't cope.
Many of the police officers admit they were breaking down as well, and off to the side. They would literally remove themselves from him and remove themselves and were
Have
crying.
a bit of a cry.
And these are like, I mean, the burliest of men, like, you know, that have seen a lot. There's one particular one in one of the documentaries who he clearly looks like he's a man who's seen stuff and led a life himself or whatever, like, you know, that. But he said, he goes, this was the one that got me.
Yep.
I can't. It was awful.
Yeah. So they go to Jodi's compound and they bang on the door.
It's an hour from the moment that R rings that doorbell.
Yep.
That within an hour they've decided we need to be entering that property. And now to enter the property of Jodi Hildebrandt's house, they don't need a warrant, because what has transpired already with what R has disclosed, they believe there could potentially be 2 children in danger.
In a similar state to
or
him.
worse. Yep. They were actually fearful that there could be dead children, because what R said to them was, I haven't seen my sisters in months.
A month.
So he believed that there were 2 other sisters in the home, but he hadn't seen them in a month. So the police were like of the opinion that we could be finding dead children.
He did say he'd heard one of them.
Yeah,
but he hadn't heard the other.
No. So yeah, in the state that he was in, if any child was any worse than him, they could be dead. So this was very, very serious of that point. So they were allowed to just enter without waiting for signatures off from judges and things. Yep. They were allowed to just go and enter. So yeah, within an hour they stormed that property basically. And now the body cam footage again, you can see of what goes on.
Do you think it's bizarre how Jodi comes... So she's obviously seen the police arrive at her neighbour's house.
No, I reckon she didn't from when you look at where she is, I don't think she could.
But when she answers the door, she's already on the phone to her attorney.
Because R had left the house. She couldn't find him.
Okay.
That's why I reckon that is.
No, that's fair. That's actually very fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that was more the point. She knew that he'd got out.
Yep. Because he'd actually escaped once before.
Yes.
He escaped in the middle of the night about 1 a.m. and Jodi found him at about 3:45 a.m. hiding behind a rock somewhere in someone else's yard. Mm-hmm. So, and he got severely punished for that. He got locked in a safe, basically, safe room for that. And that was why he was actually being bound because of that escape attempt. Because what the police found when they went into the house was E, who was 10 years of age, and they found her in a closet off a bathroom.
Empty closet. There's nothing in there. They had no possessions.
She was literally sitting on the floor with her legs crossed. The officers didn't actually know whether she was male or female at the start because her hair had been hacked off, like cut.
It was all, like shaved. Well, not even shaved.
It was just like hacked with scissors.
Yeah.
And she did not say a single word, I think for 5 hours. 4 hours,
4 hours, yeah. Yeah, and she again, literally her arms and her legs, you could put your fingers around how small they were. There's a point where you can see in the video of her sitting there and her elbows and her arms, and I just want to, oh God, it's awful how malnourished she was as well. And again, you know, similar sort of markings around her wrists and things too. But like they were just left to, oh God, it's just awful.
So they'd been there for a couple of months, is that right, at the time?
I don't know how long they'd been there, other than like a month. I know R had definitely been there the month, and obviously I think E as well.
I think they'd been there for two.
So he had seen her prior to that.
Yeah. Yes. I think when they first got there, they were together.
Yeah.
In a room together, but then they got separated.
Because in this compound, that was possible. Absolutely possible.
Yeah, it was massive.
It was huge. So
it's basically one level. I mean, we're talking desert. You know, it was one level on top of the. On top of the ground.
On ground level.
Ground.
Yeah, and then there was underground.
Then there was 2 levels underground.
Oh, 2 was it?
Jesus, so there was that concrete basement.
Yeah.
And then they had the made basement, basically.
Right.
And, you know, what the police found was basically doomsday prep shit.
Oh.
They found so much food and canned items and refrigerators and freezers full of food. And, I mean, and then they found in the basement, they found this big safe door.
Mm.
And the police officers asked Jodi what the combination was because they were afraid of what they might find in
Well,
there.
they thought that they were still thinking that at this point they still thought there was another
child
sister
they were
that was
looking
still
for.
missing. So, yeah.
And she's like, oh, I don't know. I don't remember this. Anyway, so one of the officers, the sergeant actually goes down there and he's like, oh, look, I'm just going to try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it worked.
Yeah.
So opens it up and look, there wasn't anyone in there, but there was
what was in there
evidence.
was awful. Oh.
Yeah, so there was a bucket that had cayenne pepper and honey in it and like a paintbrush basically.
Yeah, so that was what was on, like, so on R's wrists and ankles, these wounds that he'd had, which were from rope and from handcuffs that had been put around him and had worn on his wrists and created these wounds. So then on these wounds, which were going through to bone, they would make this paste up of cayenne pepper and honey and put that on the wounds, then put cling wrap around that and then duct tape. Like the pain of that, the amount of pain that would cause, that is torture. There is no other word for that.
For sure.
Utter torture. I can't even imagine how painful that would be for him to go through. They would do, and they literally would make this paste up to do that.
And apparently there were buckets of it all around the house. Like,
Yeah.
how fucking weird. And even the house was...
Because it was reapplied and reapplied. Like there were even, they found like, previously used cling wrap that was covered in this paste that had been taken off to then put the next one on. Mm-hmm. It was literally reapplied and reapplied and reapplied.
They found chains, shackles, rope, handcuffs. They found all manner of restraints in the house. There wasn't a lot of furniture in the house, was there?
There wasn't.
Very sparse.
Yeah, very sparse from the body cam footage. I mean, I don't know. You didn't see a lot of that top level, that ground level, I guess, the living space. I guess it was a lot more of the basements that you saw in it. But yeah, a lot. It seemed very. I mean, well, the bedroom where E was, or the walk-in robe that she was sitting in, was very empty. I mean, there was nothing. No, not a single bit of clothing hanging in that wardrobe.
So what you're probably all wondering is, where was Ruby at this time?
Yeah. Well, and where the other two?
And where were the other kids?
There's obviously Chad and Sherry. We know they're safe and away, but there were still 2 more children that were in her care. At that point as well.
The 2 middle girls, where were they? So what actually transpired was that one of the girls had a dentist appointment. Now, they were living at the time with a friend of the family.
Well, no, I believe they were with Ruby and she'd received a call. No?
They were living with a friend of the family, but one of them had a dentist appointment that Ruby had to take them to. So Ruby had actually gone from Ivans back to Springville to take this daughter to her dentist appointment, had dropped the daughter back with the friends who she was staying with.
Okay.
Had driven back, and as she was driving back to Ivans is when she found out.
Oh, so another documentary tells it very differently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll go. Tell me.
Was that, well, they were, that Ruby was with them, the 2 girls.
Okay.
And I think they were at a sporting event of some sort for one of them.
Oh, right.
And that there was friends there who were part of the Connections group.
Yep.
And this woman, Ruby had got a phone call, and clearly it was that there's shit going down at Ivans.
Yep.
So she turned to this woman and just said, oh, look, we've got a bit of a family emergency that I've got to take care. Would you mind having the girls for the night? And so she, unbeknownst, did the whole, oh, sure, we can take them home. Yeah, they can come stay with us for the night. No worries.
Oh.
That they were only meant to, was sort of what that had presented it as.
That's interesting. There's 2 very different stories out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway,
So, either way.
it kind of makes sense.
But these people
how
were,
these kids ended up with those people
with someone
could
else.
have worked either way.
But yeah, so it was basically, they were at this house though, that these people who had them in their care had zero understanding of what was going on back at Ivans.
Oh yeah,
I guess that's the biggest bit of it, that the police are trying to find where these 2 girls are, and they're looking into things of where they are, and they find video footage of them and try and track down this car they get into. Then they take them to this house. So then the police rock up at this doorstep and saying, can we please see the girls.
Well, no, they asked to see the wife first.
Yeah, the wife, because that's who
Yeah.
they were tracking the car of.
Right,
That was the
okay.
the number plate they had, and so is she home?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was still like, we assume the girls are in this vehicle and that's who's got them.
Yeah.
So, spoke to her and said to her, well, then can we see the girls? And she was a bit apprehensive at first, kind of going, but, why? And a bit like, I mean, they're not your kids, and you're sort of like going, well, why are the police wanting to act, someone else's children, like you just come and take them away or whatever, what the hell?
Yeah.
So I can fully understand their reaction, and she was very apprehensive. And the girls do sort of come out, but they're very scared.
Yes.
Really, really scared.
Because they've been told to fear the police.
Yeah, this is it.
They've been told never to talk to the police. The police are untrustworthy. They've really brainwashed the kids in that sense.
Yeah.
And I guess Jodi and Ruby also felt that or believed that. They talked themselves into the exact same thing.
Oh, totally.
So I guess, okay, right, at this point, Jodi's arrested and so is Ruby. Once she gets back to the house, she's arrested. She says not a word. Not like, where are my kids?
No.
Where's R? Where's E? Are they okay?
When they say to you, don't talk to the police, like, until your lawyer's present, they don't mean that you can't say, yeah, sure, I'll have a glass of water.
Yeah. Or you can ask after your fucking children.
Oh, totally. I mean, what you do and don't say can be held against you. What you don't say can be held against you. It equally goes. The fact that you wouldn't answer a single question, even about can I help you and get you a glass of water, and barely you'd get a nod of her head.
She didn't even do that. She just stared at them.
Oh,
that's so creepy.
So creepy. Jodi's a bit more relaxed and a bit more talkative.
Well, she talks herself. Wow. She just thinks her shit don't stink. And
Gotcha.
They're like, she thinks she's so much smarter than them.
Oh, doesn't she?
She's like, I'm a psychologist.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes you worse.
She's like, I know what people do. I know people twist your words. So I'm not talking to you because I don't know how you're going to twist my words. And the police officer says, well, luckily for both sides, it's filmed and it's audio recorded. So we've actually got backup, and that's for your protection as much as it is for ours. We don't want anything twisted here. We just want to know what you've got to say and what. Yeah.
Why
and
the
she's
hell?
Like, she goes, well, then why has my lawyer told me not to say anything to you? Because your lawyer knows you're fucking guilty.
Yep. Oh man, like it just
you have tortured two young children.
Yeah. And to be honest, as much as like Ruby's interview like that is just ridiculous, and how she does that. I can't even how she just stands there and refuses, like sits there and then stands there later, another video, like refuses to answer the police when they're literally asking her the most simplest of things. It just kills me. Worse than that though, I find, is that they then bring in Kevin.
Well, Ruby rings Kevin when she's on her way down from Springville to... Right. When she's on her way from Springville to Ivans, she rings Kevin and he sees her number come up on his phone. Now, they haven't spoken since he signed those papers, right?
Yeah.
To sell the house or whatever it was to do with the house. That he didn't even know he'd done that because he just signed something blindly. Fuckwit.
Dickhead.
So he's delighted to get this call from Ruby. She says to him, you need to get to Ivans police station to pick up our children, right? And he just goes, okay.
Because I'm a minion.
He gets in the car. He thinks, oh, my God, all my Christmases have come at once.
I get to see my
Ruby
kids.
needs me. I get to see my children. I'm finally going to be back in the fold. He gets 4 hours car ride. He gets to Ivans, gets to the police station, says to the police officers, I'm Kevin Frankie. Immediately, he's a suspect. They then start questioning him, and it's pretty evident pretty quickly that he has no idea what's going on.
But no idea in the sense of that you're culpable. Like as in...
Yeah, to the point where he doesn't even know the welfare of his own children.
Exactly.
100%. Well, like, how could you as a parent not know that your kids are... Like, I wouldn't, even to know... Did such and such go to school today, or have they been sick? Or, how did sports go for this kid? Or did this kid have a concert today? How did that go?
Do we need to have an appointment at the school and chat about their challenges they're having?
Nothing. He hadn't had contact with Ruby about the kids for months. He hadn't spoken to any of his children for 12 months.
No. And even when they do say to him that the two younger ones are in hospital, Not what? Like no panic. Are they okay? What's
Because,
like? There's
but
no.
He says in that documentary though he didn't know how to react because he didn't want to implicate Ruby.
Well, fuck Ruby.
But he didn't think that way.
I know, but like fuck Ruby.
Yeah, fuck Ruby. Totally fuck Ruby.
Oh my God.
But he was worried because at one point they ask him, who called you to tell you to come here?
Yeah, right.
And he's like, oh, I'm not going to say.
Oh, you're a dick. Oh, God, this makes me so angry.
Yeah. It makes me so mad.
Oh, he just, enabling the weakness of him, like step up, mate, for your kids. They
kids
need you.
to not be a weak piece of shit.
Yes.
They need you to be strong.
Yep.
They need you to take charge of this situation. They need you not to pander to their mother
Take
at all.
that bitch down. Like, it's done. You need to stop this. If he had just stepped in so much earlier with this and like not allowed any of this to occur, he could have done that. He could have put things in place to stop this.
For sure.
And not saying that like there needed to be then, jail time necessarily for people because you could have avoided it getting to that.
Yep.
Dickhead.
Although they are where they need to
Oh,
be.
absolutely. Totally.
So where are we now? We're basically at the point where the police have actually put the kids on, Child Protective Services have put the kids on a 72-hour medical hold.
Absolutely.
So which is the right thing to do.
Oh, God, yeah.
What that actually means, though, is that Kevin's not allowed to see them. Nobody from the family is allowed to see them.
Neither should they. Like, I mean, at this point in time, we need to find out who's done this to them.
Yes, that's right. They needed to gather all of the information.
Like, yeah, I mean, you don't know who's then going to be able to get into that room and, I don't know, finish things off, manipulate the children to say things, tell them not to talk. And you need those kids to be able to say what's actually happened and be honest, but also be safe.
Yeah,
like, it's just, no.
Yeah, so that's all good and well. I believe that they are then released into the custody of foster carers. Now, we don't know, nothing was sort of said about that, which is completely fair and as it should have been. I hope they went to family, but we don't know.
We don't know. All we know is, like, even to this day, Kevin is not a guardian of the children.
He is now.
Oh, has he just recently got custody, has he?
Got custody.
Oh, okay. Last I read, he was still fighting for it.
No, he got custody recently of the 4 younger children. Oh, the 3 younger children, because I think the older of the fourth is now of age. Yeah. So basically,
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, well, no, I don't know either. Actually, I don't know.
My only thing with that is that Sherry and Chad are a part of it as well.
That's right.
And that will be my only,
saving grace. I think Chad's a lot more involved because he and his dad have maintained a relationship. Sherry and her dad are on the path to reconciliation.
Yeah, she's got a very good attitude to it.
Yep.
I think. I wouldn't want to be in her shoes to make those decisions, but she seems to have her head screwed on of like being able to know that that's her dad, that's her siblings, and then what's best for them, and being able to maintain a relationship that works for managing all of that.
But she still calls him Kevin. She doesn't call him. She actually calls her old school teacher and his wife Mum and Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, because she feels they've been more that.
And they have been. Those two people are like the salt of the earth, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Like they are that is when you think of like Mormon, that is what you think of them. Like they are lovely, genuinely down to earth people. You can tell they love Sherry so much.
And genuinely, they're authentic about it. It's
absolutely.
Nothing more to it than that. Like
they have her best interests at heart.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So thankfully Sherry's got that, which is wonderful, and she's got that support from them. And she calls them Mum and Dad to this day, and she has said she will never see Ruby. No. So let's get to all of that, what actually happened.
Yep.
So the women initially were charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault on a minor.
Yeah.
And went to prison straight from where they were arrested.
Yeah.
Awaiting a trial or whatever was going to come of it.
Yeah.
They both ended up pleading guilty.
Yes.
To 4 counts. 4 counts
each. Yep, 4 counts
of aggravated
child abuse. Yeah.
Now, when Jodi's hearing was first, I believe, and she.
Well, no, I think
was at the same time.
Prior to that, in that they were so they were both charged with the same thing, and Ruby overheard a conversation where she worked out, because in all of this she was, I've done nothing wrong, and there's nothing I'm not guilty, all these sorts of things. I don't know how you could, but anyway. In the end, she actually overheard a conversation where she realised that Jodi was blaming her for what had happened to the kids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that was where she went, well, hang on a second.
That was like, I don't think she accidentally
No, I
heard
don't think there was any accident in that. I think authorities knew what they were doing there.
Yeah.
And we're like, and so once she realised that she was going to be put in it by Jodi.
Yeah.
And that she didn't, and I agree with this about the other thing. I'll probably agree with Ruby on.
Yeah.
Fuck that bullshit, Jodi, you're going down.
Mm-hmm.
She decided to plead guilty and to testify against Jodi.
Yep.
Which meant that when Jodi then found out that that's what was going to happen, Jodi backed down too and also pled guilty.
Yeah.
So then both of them pleading guilty. Just go back one step though. When they were first arrested and put into prison, Jodi rang Kevin and there was a conversation they had, and it's recorded. So you can actually hear this for yourself. It is the most awful fucking phone call. Again, weak as shit, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
But he says to Jodi,
sorry.
No, sorry. He says to Ruby on the phone, the kids are in hospital. And she says, oh, well, that's a bit overkill. No need for that. What the hell? These are kids that were nearly dead.
They were nearly dead. Like, one of the physicians who treated them basically said, had they gone on for a few more days, especially he probably would have died.
Wow.
Days away. They were so stubborn. But for him, it would have been sepsis, I think, because his wounds were so badly infected.
Yeah, the wounds were horrific.
Yeah.
So she's just an absolute evil piece of shit to be thinking that she didn't ring Kevin to say, oh my God, are our kids okay? Mm-hmm. Are they alive? Like, because she wasn't even at Ivan's when this occurred. Like, I don't know how many days she had been away. Like, was it, and how long had she seen E or R? Because
in the thing that I read, she'd left at 3:00 that morning to get to pick up her daughter for the dentist appointment by 7:30 or something.
But in that compound, if R's not seeing E, is Ruby not seeing one of them? Is Jodi inflicting this stuff on one of them?
I mean, we don't
know. So she's not even asking the right questions at this point for me.
Yeah.
Of any of it. She's not asking any questions. She's adamant, oh, that's a bit much. They don't need to be in hospital. So, and I think Kevin's response, I mean, because I find him a weak piece of shit. In hindsight, I'm like, yeah, did he just not realise just how bad it is because he hadn't seen them and wasn't allowed to see them? But surely people were explaining to him why they needed to be in that position of not being...
Well, the police officers in his original interview said to him...
They're malnourished.
They're malnourished. They're emaciated. And he's like, what's that mean?
I'm like, what do you mean? What does that mean? That means your kids are not good. Like, I understand, sort of a bit of insight into him then of went, you're not an overly intelligent person.
He's a professor of engineering.
I know.
Maybe he's book smart. I don't know.
Smart. Like, life not smart.
Life not smart, yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, but that phone call kills me. But so also though later on, which we find out was that she actually called Chad as well at this time, and her initial phone call with him, he speaks about as being absolutely horrific, and he said it's actually the first time he found a voice and telling her what he thought, and he really went at her of like, you're wrong, you've done the wrong thing, and so he reflects on that conversation to this day around, how that impacted him of being able to voice things, but also have her coming back at him going, no, I've done nothing wrong, because he hung up from that phone call too. And the next thing he found that he had no money in his bank account from his work on 8 Passengers. She took all that money to pay for her lawyers.
Yep. So, well, what she actually did, this is so fucked up.
Yeah.
Part of when Kevin signed this piece of paper, he must have signed a couple of different things because she withdrew all of the cash that they had, and literally withdrew it as cash, put it in a bag.
Yeah.
Emptied all of the children's bank accounts, put all of that cash in a bag, and it totaled something like $87,000. And that bag of cash, it was seen by the police when they did their thorough search of the premises once they had a search warrant.
Right.
They found that money, but they had nothing to do with it. They documented that it was there and left it there.
Right.
What they think now has happened is that Ruby's lawyer has gained access to the house and taken that bag of money and is using that money as part of her payment for defence.
Yeah, right.
Because nobody really actually knows what happened to that bag of money.
Right.
The police certainly know that it existed, but it's not there now.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, Chad says it. So the way he says it is that it was, it was used for her lawyers. But
Well, I
that's
think he's
interesting.
right.
That his assumption is that, I guess, in that sense. But
Yeah.
but he said so. He has one more phone call with her a few weeks later, and in that phone call, that's after she's realised that this is all shit. And he said that was a very interesting phone call where she apologized to him, actually. And like he says it was a very genuine phone call. She broke down crying and he goes, I totally understand people know that she has crocodile tears. Totally understand that that's who she is and does that. This was genuine. And so he to this day doesn't have a relationship with her, and he doesn't even think he ever will. But he at least appreciates the fact that phone call, she got it.
Yeah.
It had maybe registered that this was not okay.
I feel like even if he just needs to believe that, then that's
okay.
okay.
Absolutely.
Because for himself to move on.
It didn't do enough for him to go, oh, great, well, Mum, I'm going to start a relationship with you now. It was certainly not to that level, but it was at least enough for him to go, okay, good.
Yeah.
But I'm moving on my life away from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find the sentencing really interesting, the way they do it in Utah. So each charge comes with it a range of sentence.
Yeah.
So as part of the plea deal that they did, both women did, was that they both pled guilty and they also agreed to serve consecutive sentences. So what that means is that for each of those 4 charges, they will serve the sentence for one charge, then after that serve the sentence for the next and the next and the next. Under the law in Utah, though, the charges that they pled guilty for attract a 1 to 15 year maximum. So minimum of 1 year, maximum of 15 years. Once they've served, they can serve the first charge at 100% of the sentence. The second, third and fourth charges, they serve at 50% of what they're given.
Right.
But it's actually not up to the judge to impose a sentence. It's up to the parole board. So they've been sentenced to between 1 and 30 years.
Yeah.
In prison. 4 and 30 years, is it?
Well, it's 4 and 60, but it's capped at 30.
It's capped at 30 because of this 50% reduction for the consecutive sentences.
Yeah.
So between 4 and 30 years. So technically they could be out pretty bloody soon. So this all happened, they were sentenced in November 2023.
Yeah.
They'd already served some time up until that point. So I believe they could actually be out next year if they get their minimums.
I don't think they'll get their minimum.
I don't think they'll
get
minimums
more than
either.
that. With the extensive, like what R and E were presented as at that point when they were arrested, I can't see that it would be that. I mean, I don't know in what world 1 year is enough for each of those charges. So I would hope that any parole board would, in any case of this, would not give 1 year. But
from what I was reading, most sentences tend to fall somewhere in the middle. So people are thinking they'll probably serve somewhere around the 15 year mark.
I hope it's 15 years as a minimum. Yeah. I really do. Yeah. I think it totally warrants that.
Oh, so do I.
The thing that I can't come at, though, is they're both in the same prison.
Yep. Do you reckon they're doing it?
Gay for the stay.
They were gay before this.
I know. This is like, doesn't count, does it? I mean, I've heard that I think Jodi's got some health issues, but then I don't know how much I believe of that.
Who gives a shit?
So, yeah, oh, God, I can't with the both of them. I mean, surely at this point, I mean, are they having it off in there, or are they avoiding each other like the plague because they now, does one of them or both of them see the other one for who they are? Narcissistic sacks of shit.
They're both sacks of shit.
Yeah. I've read sort of psychologists, like actual real psychologists, not Jodi Hildebrandt, reports on what they believe, and there's strong belief that Jodi would be Ruby is the one I read about. Ruby would be diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder.
Oh.
I haven't read a report on Jodi at all, but I'm fairly certain that that's got to be up there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to have two of them in a relationship together.
I think they were feeding off of each other.
Yeah, okay.
You know, but
they were building each
different
other up.
types of narcissism, I guess, too, and the
Yeah.
way that they manipulated and worked from each other. Yeah,
that's
what they were
fair.
both getting out of what their supply was.
Yeah, yep. That's very fair.
They're just gross humans.
Absolutely.
And I don't know about you, but I in this, there is a part of me that's like, I still think Kevin needs to cop some time too. And I know that there's no legal way of doing it
for it. Yeah.
but morally, step up for your kids. It's neglectful what he did. He left them in the situation, and he had enough information to know
I think
that was not a safe environment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the fact that Sherry was contacting police regularly saying, you know, like they're being left alone, and that he is floating around the cosmos, you know.
Well, he didn't live that far away from me. He could have very easily.
And he just followed her instructions of don't contact me and don't have any part of this. Like, who does that? If you genuinely love your children, I would fight to the death for my children.
I think most people would, but he's just. I don't know.
To just go, yeah, sure, love. I won't see my children for 12 months.
He was so enamored by Ruby, so
Why?
into her. I don't know, because even I'm talking now pre-Jodi coming into the picture in their vlogs.
Yeah.
She's not a likable person.
No, I mean, the way she yelled at them.
But even you didn't see that in the vlogs early on. Even just,
but that was happening in the background.
That's
apparently.
right. That's right. But I'm just looking from what she was putting out there, right, back in the early days, not knowing all of that stuff about the yelling and what her actual personality was like.
Yeah.
I didn't even like what I saw of her then in the clips that I've seen.
Yeah, I guess that's a general. I mean, well, I guess it's the personality type who do that vlogging sort of thing. That I can't stand that. There's a fakeness to it that you can see.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is, and you pick up on that.
I don't know.
There's nothing genuine about it.
It was always like, I was telling you about that Ryan family, but before my kids used to watch, like their voices would grate on me, and I'd be like, I can't. Can you turn it off? Like, I can't stand that fake. I'm excited about this bullshit when you're really not. You're just putting it on for the camera. Like, you watch a video, like a genuine, like I'm talking 80s, 90s when the VHS recorder would come out, you know, and you hear families communicating with each other in very natural ways. That is completely different sound to what these people present.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Ugh.
Yep.
Nah. Goldberg style, you know? Like,
I love the Goldbergs. Oh, guys, anyone who hasn't watched the Goldbergs, get on it.
That's a better vlog.
It is the best. Yes, that's exactly right. It's the best show. I love it.
Oh, good.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to get to? Because I do have a quote that I would like to end on.
Go for it. Yeah.
So Sherry's book, which is well worth a read, is called In the House of My Mother. And in it, she sort of sums up in a single paragraph the significance of their family story and why the public was so fascinated. And I just thought, she's such an astute young woman.
Yeah.
She's only 21.
Oh, I know.
She's engaged to be married.
Her life's going good. And
her life's going really well.
Yeah.
And she deserves it. She now wants to be out of the public eye, which I can totally understand. She's happy to be in the public eye. She doesn't want her future husband or future children to be in the public eye.
She beautifully posted like her photo of her engagement ring and everything, and then just went in her comment of it was like, this will be the last that I post, really. Like she just isn't going to put that stuff out in the world like that. So
I think she's doing a lot of advocacy work for children who are part of these vlogging families
she put,
and children
a bill
in the media.
To state, so she's hoping that will eventually be in every state of America where that they now children who are involved in these vloggings and things and need to be paid. And so it's now in law in Utah that that children are paid for these things, which there is actually like a movement in these vlogging worlds that women hate her, you know, because they now have to
pay their
children for what they are on. And there's also other stipulations. It is the fact that they are an employee, and that with any person who is employed, there are conditions of how they can be treated. You know, how long they can be filmed for, how long they, you know, between filming takes and having breaks and stuff, that they have rights now, which they didn't have before, and they don't like it.
Good on her.
I love
what
it.
an amazing young woman.
Oh, God, yeah.
She's incredible. Okay.
Yeah.
She wrote, "Who knew that in the age of viral scandals and cancel culture, it would be the wholesome, family-centered content of LDS vloggers that would capture the world's attention? And who would have foreseen that my own family would come to embody both, the wholesome ideal and the scandalous, becoming a cautionary tale of what happens when the line between authenticity and performance becomes blurred beyond recognition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good on her.
Let's hope Ruby and Jodi stay in prison for as long as humanly possible.
Oh, I never bloody pick up a camera again, and never
Have
get
access to
to children.
No.
Because, I mean, we should say Jodi's known for this. Like, so she's had a niece, or
Yes,
I
it's her
believe,
niece. It's her
come
niece.
out. Actually uses they them pronouns. So Jessie has come out and spoken about their experience of Jodi when she was 15, 16. Now they were sent to live with Jodi because they were rebelling as a teenager and all those sorts
And
of
Jodi
very
was
typical
seen
things.
as being like the messiah for
And
these things.
Auntie Jodi was then, Jodi's a psychologist. She'll know what to do. So we'll send Jessie there. And Jessie, they said that when they heard all about what was going on for Ruby Frankie's children, that was all the same stuff that they had gone through when they were 16, and all the same stuff. The cuffing of them and all the cayenne pepper and the honey, all that was used on them at that stage. The withholding of food. They said that was really exactly what they'd experienced, and nothing was done to save them at that point. There was no one put in place to support them. So thankfully, they got to the end of their stint with Jodi and managed to get out. I think they were maybe like 18 when they finally were able to get away and moved off, and that was that. But there was no repercussions for what Jodi had done to them. So they were very happy to hear that she has gone off to jail for this and copped what she needed to cop, because she deserves it.
Yeah,
it's not the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, God, so much.
Okay.
It's a really long episode.
It is. Sorry, guys, but we had to get it all out.
Yes.
All right. So thank you for joining us for another episode. Next week, our episode that we're bringing is the missing campers.
Yeah.
Episode. So the Wonangata.
Back here in Melbourne or in Victoria, yes.
Very interesting case. I know my dad's been really wanting us to cover this case. He's super into it. So, Dad, this one can be for you.
Yay.
Yep. So that's what we're covering next week. Thank you again for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll catch you again on the flip side.
Absolutely. Come and join us over at Patreon and pick up some extra episodes over there if you like. So stay curious, crime besties.
Bye.